Hey there, Soul Shines! My name is Michelle, and welcome to another Creative Expressions video where I tell you about what I've been doing, what I'm currently doing, what I might be doing, and little life update, things like that. Let's start with finished objects. One of the finished objects I will have to show a picture of. It is also kind of a whip, if you will. My neighbor she loves her dish towel holder thing, and she wanted me to see if I could help her come up with a pattern for it. The deal was that because this is somebody's pattern, I could figure it out, but it's not something I could ever publish. It's not something she could ever publish. It's just something that she can make for herself. I don't know. Does that count as stealing? I hope not. It's really cute and it's a fun pattern and taught me something that I can use in future patterns for myself. But I definitely don't feel like it's something that I would ever share with anybody besides her. I don't know. If that is stealing, let me know, because it could be. So there's that. Other finished objects. Have I finished anything else? I don't know that I have. I did finish something for a tutorial. I have to breathe on that tutorial because the tutorial's ready, the video's ready. I'm working on a PDF to go with it, and I have been waiting for a week for my daughter to give me the pictures I requested, and at this point in time I don't know what to do because I wanted to have the video for you guys a week ago because it was done. And I'm like, I feel stuck because I can't make my next video because it's a part 2 of that. Oh, for some reason she decided to draw it on paper, even though she just got a drawing tablet and is loving drawing on the computer. And I don't know that she understands that it can be so simple. She's a really good artist, so hopefully I will be able to put that video out very soon. So I guess that takes us to works in progress. Let's talk about the temperatures next and get those updates going for you. I just hurried and finished yesterday and the day before's rounds for Millie so that you guys can see how Millie is coming. I've been putting markers. This is on the 7th and this is the 14th. Basically every Sunday since we started on a Sunday. I'll be putting markers in. So she is almost 3 weeks long. Today is Friday that I'm recording this. I usually record on Thursday, but not yesterday. So she's doing amazing. Super excited. Cheyenne used to say it looked like it had a hat. And I guess it really just has become a really tall hat. I already know today's temperature has gotten above this navy blue color, so it will probably be this middle blue color, but it may even go into the light gray blue color. We'll see. So that's Millie and where she's at. This one is for my grandson that was from May 25th for the year he was born. Sorry, trying to keep it in frame. I had to end up undoing back to like here because the join was really weird and the stuffing was showing, and so I had to undo, and I'd had it like right up in here, and I had to undo all of that, aka frogging, for if you don't know. And then this section right here, that was like a lot. I believe that was in August. You know what? I think I have that open. So he started over here with the yellow on May 25th, and this yellow is September 1st. So this red here is pretty much most of August. So that makes sense for our weather here. So this is where he's at. I will tell you why he is not further as we get past more into kind of a life update thing. Then this one here, not quite as long. Actually, I can put them up together so you can see. The heads are basically together, and so she's not quite as long. July 9th. Let me look. I have some awesome charts going on here. To September 26th. It's like 2.5 months long. Those are coming along. Then I've been working on my last pair of socks, or at least the last pair of socks that were made for other people, because I still have an alpaca pair that has been cast on. The toes are done, and I need to go back and work on those, but I want to finish these first, and then I'll go back to those. So these are for my 18-year-old son. You know, he's 6 foot tall, so we've got a man-sized foot here going on, but pretty impressed with how far I've been coming on them. I'm excited about them. I didn't know if I liked the coloring that they would turn out, but I'm loving them. I think they're really awesome. So that's fun. Another update on this is my tilted tunic. It's coming along. What you do is sew up a part of the top here. And my daughter and I were talking about it. So while I'm working on finishing this up, there's going to be some modifications I'm doing, okay? So the way that the pattern is written is basically you sew the side seam. I think you put a little border around here. There's a little bit of a sleeve that she does that takes the same pattern. I think you work through the whole sequence that gives you the little, some are holes and some are plain. You work through a whole sequence at least once and then put a ribbing on it. That's what she does. She also puts a ribbing on the very bottom edge, and I don't like the sleeves. I don't like the ribbing. I like this as kind of a cap sleeve, so I'm just going to kind of put a border around here, and then I want to finish. I like the end. I like the way this works. Like if I were to end it right here, I would feel no need to put a border or anything. I just like the way that looks. So this isn't long enough, and so I need to go from, see where my finger's poking through? I need to go through there to there again and add that much, and then see if it's long enough. And then I will end on the same round, because like I said, I like the way that looks. I feel like it's a great spot. If it's a good length, then that's where I'll end, and so I may have 10 more rounds to do. If it's not a good length, then I have 20, because I'll have to do a second one, because I would rather it be longer than shorter, but we'll see how that works. The other thing my daughter and I were talking about, she was saying, well, let's talk about why before I tell you what we were saying. One of the problems I have is I'm not sure that I like the way the neck would end up sitting on me. I've thought about just making really short things and have it kind of drapey, but it looks kind of funny. I don't know. My daughter suggested making it so that kind of how you lace up a corset, you would having it so that there was a lace kind of thing, and then it would tie on the end, and that there would be 2 of those so that it had this little crisscross cord things with the bows over here that would help give it a little bit more length for the neck to drop down. And I kind of like that idea, so I might be doing that. So that's an adjustment. I'm leaving off the sleeves, I'm leaving off the border at the bottom, and I'm really thinking I might do the little crisscross thing. I won't know until I've got the rounds to think about it and kind of play around. Do I want to do that or not? So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to get this because I want to wear it. I actually have something I'm going to on the 28th, and I think it would be really awesome to be able to wear this sweater to it. So we'll see, because yeah. I'll talk about more why it's not done when I get to the live updates. Okay, and one other thing that I've cast on since last time is this hat. It's called the meringue hat, It's got a little bit of cable work on it. It's gonna be really fun. I really like this. This was yarn that my son gave me for Christmas. I told him he gave me an unconstructed hat, and so that's what this is. I found a pattern that I thought would be fun to knit up, so we'll see. And one update I will tell you before I tell you my plans is I started using Ravelry Projects. I know that a lot of you are like, wow, you haven't. I've been crocheting for 40 something years and knitting for the last year, but this is the first time I did a project, and it's partly because one of the next things I'll talk about is a mystery crochet along I decided to join. And so a part of that is a requirement to make the project. So I thought, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to put on all my current projects. And so all of them are there on my Ravelry page. My Ravelry name is Magical Michele. And Michele spelled with one L. I'm not sure. Can you link to a profile? If I can link to a profile, I'll put that down below. And then you can go in and see my projects, and that I've got, there's a link to the tilted tunic pattern. There's a link to the meringue hat that I'm doing. There's a link to the snake crochet along, or like the temperature blanket, temperature snake. We'll have a link. I pretty much I have all of my current crocheting and knitting projects that are actually, I'm working on them in there, as well as this mystery cow that I haven't started yet. They're all in there as a project. I do not have some of my projects that are on hold in there, and I haven't decided if I'm going to put those on there yet or not. We'll see. So to talk about my upcoming projects, I want to talk about some of the shopping I've done. Oh, let's talk about sewing whips first. I will detour to talk about one of the challenges that I have, because it's a big challenge for sewing. So I have the wrap pants that I'm making for my daughter and I have them almost cut out. I have not cut out the crotch part. I think it's because I'm a little concerned that it's not going to work, and so I kind of and I just need to just bite the bullet and do it, and at least get that part. It's like my next thing. It's like, just, why are you putting this off? Just do it. What would it take to get it done? But my sewing thing, I'm a little concerned about my sewing machine, because the last couple times I tried to use it, I had a lot of issues. I'm nervous about, is my sewing machine actually going to sew properly? What's going on with that? I'm especially nervous if I get to the knit fabrics that I have. But I don't think that I could handle doing all of my projects that I want to make by sewing by hand. I just think that would be way too much. It would be fun to have one thing that I sew by hand, but maybe one or two this year, but not all of the plans. That would be too much. So I keep kind of looking over here, because I realized one of the things is I need to have an area that is cleaned up, that has my sewing machine actually set up. And so I've looked at my room and realized that right now, with the current situation in my room, if I cleaned up this area, because my room is a really big mess. December was really hard emotionally. January is really hard. I think seasonal affective disorder is a part of it. This has been really hard. So things got extra messy. So I need to clean. I apologize for the shaking. The dog is doing weird stuff in his sleep, and he's leaning against the tripod, and not really much I can do about that right now. I'm like, ah. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna clean up my room, and I'm gonna set up my sewing machine and have it kind of have a little home. I'm hoping that if it's just set up and I can just sit down to sew it, that will help with some of the things. Because when I think about all the different things that get in the way of me sewing, there's like fears about my sewing machine. So I just need to go through and like find out, is my machine working? And if not, what can I do about it? I need to clean up an area so that I don't have to think about getting out my sewing machine every time. So I have these things that I have to resolve, and so those are things that I'm trying to resolve this weekend. And then hopefully I can sew my wrap pants, my daughter's wrap pants, and I will be like, yes, I finished a sewing project. Let's hope. I was given a Hobby Lobby gift card for Christmas, and it was a very beautiful card with a very beautiful amount. And so I did a shopping trip. I bought some sock yarn that I didn't pull out. I'm going to pause this and go get the sock yarn. Okay, I am back. Oh my gosh. And the story, and sorry about the shaking. So it is more Cozy Toes yarn. And I bought 5, and I was like, I already had one, or I already had a couple. So I was thinking maybe I could, because it wouldn't be probably be from the same dye lot, then I could, you know, find a way to work it so that I could still use them all and have that much more yarn or whatever. Because actually, even though this is sock yarn, I want to make a sweater with it. I think that would be really fun. So the color is this Cozy Toes. It's a 93% acrylic, 7% polyester. It uses a 2.75 millimeter knitting needles. Size E crochet hook is what it usually says. There are 50-gram balls, which is 210 yards, 1.75 ounces, 195 meters, in case that matters to you. And the color's name is called Multiverse. So I bought 5 of these. And so then I pulled out my other 2, and oh my gosh, they had the same dye lot. I have 7 of these with the same dye lot. I'm in heaven. So I'm really excited. This is on my future plans. I have enough yarn for 2 different sweaters, and I just don't know which one I want to do first. Because I'm like, do I want to do these ones first? Do I want to do my DK cotton first? But I have to finish my crochet sweater before I can start a sweater. So that was really exciting with the yarn. I'm just like so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, same dye lot. How cool is that? How miraculous, in my opinion, is that? So the other thing I bought that day was some fabric. So let me show you my fabric. I have this. It's kind of a shiny, fun little number that I was thinking of making a blouse with. And I have this. It's a knit that I was thinking of making my wrap dress with. I think that would be really fun. And I have this green. And oh my gosh, let me tell you, these knits are so soft that I want to make a t-shirt with. So those are my fabrics. And I apologize if I've already showed that to you. I just realized I wanted to make sure that I showed you that, because maybe I did show you that. I went shopping because, like I've said, I'm doing a mystery crochet along. It's from Expressions Fiber Arts, and they called for a sport weight yarn. Of course, they have one they recommend because they are a yarn shop. And because I'm allergic to wool, I could not even think about buying that yarn. And I've looked at their things that are not, and it's just like way out of budget for me right now. But I really do want to eventually buy some of their, they have a couple of things that don't have wool, and I want to buy them. I know that I don't have a problem with alpaca, so I might do that. An alpaca or silk, or an alpaca silk blend. We'll see. But I'll have to have like a little extra crochet budget for that. Yarn budget, I should say, because I'll probably knit something. So I bought yarn, and there were supposed to be 12 colors. So I found this yarn here, Yarn Bee Yarntopia. So soft. so soft. Oh, I'm not one of those people that do this. It's just not me, but oh my gosh, I can see why they do. So this one is Ivory. And this one is Ocean. And let me tell you really quick while I'm thinking about it. 4 ounces, 113 grams, 312 yards, 285 meters. I think 270 was, or maybe it was a 470. I hope I have enough yarn. It's 100% acrylic, but it's so soft. And it is a 2 weight, so it's a sport weight. I have to tell you, a little sidetrack note here. Sport weight. It's so freaking confusing. Because when you look at what is a sport weight, they tell you it's a 2. It's lighter than a DK. And it's thicker than a fingering. They tell you it's a size 2. But when you go to order it at different places, they'll give you like information for size 3 yarn. And I'm like, can we please get everybody on the same board? Because I grew up thinking that sport weight was a 3 yarn. And it's only been in the last few years, especially since I started knitting, but that I was like, wait a minute, sport is thinner than this other one, and it's actually a 2. I'm like so confused by it. Not because I'm confused by the idea that the 2 is a sport weight. I'm fine with that. What I'm confused by is why some places are still trying to call 3s 2 weight or 3 sport weight. Like, can we just all get on the same page with this, please? It would be so much easier for everybody if we were all on the same page. So, like I said, this is Ocean. Sorry about my rambling. This one is how do you say that? Cerulean Sea. It's really pretty. This one is called Rose. And as you can tell, they've kind of got the sheen, which I think is really pretty too. This one is called Heather. It's kind of purpley. It kind of looks gray to me in the screen, so I don't know if you can tell that it's purple or not. I don't know. This one here is called Cerulean without the C, so this is a darker version. This is called White, but it's a yellowish white, so that's weird. But it is what it is. This one is called Blush, and in my opinion, it's more orange than a blush would be, but that's okay. I'm not naming their yarns. They are. This one is called Anchor. I like this color. And 3 more. This one is called Pearl. It's kind of a light gray. And this one is called Spice. It's kind of a rusty rose color, if you will, because it's kind of rusty, but it's also kind of pinkish. So rusty rose is what I would call that. I really like this color. I think that would be a very pretty color on me. I like it matches my coloring ridiculously well. And then this one, I actually got 3 skeins of it because I love this color so much. I wanted to make something. Why am I looking at there? I should be looking there. This color is called Scarlet. And so these 2 have the same dye lot, and this one does not. This one over there does not have the same dye lot. So this one is for this mystery cow. So let me see if I can find a way to show you all of the colors together. is not awkward in the least. I think I have them all. Anyway, I know it's hard to tell. It's awkward and everything. I think they're just going to be really pretty, honestly. I mean, I have no clue because it's a mystery what this thing is going to look like, but I think it's just going to be really pretty. And then, of course, with these two, I actually found another, it's like a super lacy kind of thing that you wear over something that I want to crochet. So I'm probably going to do this before I do any knitting of sweaters, because I'm pretty sure this won't take very long because it is so lacy. We'll see. Because let's just move into, oh, that one got missed. Let's go move into the challenge that I'm having right now, kind of the major life, that's a good word for it. My elbow, oh, even now. I have Crocheters Elbow. And yes, I know that in an ideal perfect world, I would go to the doctor. They would want to give me cortisol shots, and I refuse those. I have my reasons. It's research I did when I hurt my knee that said, I don't think so. So I'm trying to do what I can, trying to figure out what kind of exercises and stuff. And I realized it doesn't happen when I knit. And it does happen when I crochet, and it gets really bad when I crochet. And so I've been kind of paying attention to what the difference is. And I'm going to tip this down. Not that I want to show everything down this way. Sorry, it's a mess. Don't look. When I knit, and I'll just use these for a second because I can knit a few and stop and not be too worried about it. Let's see if I can get enough information here. So I scoot it up and I hold this in this hand, and then I wrap my yarn around, and I use it all in my right hand. That's just the way I do it. I know there's different ways. But we're talking about why I get hurt and don't get hurt. Okay, so I loop it around and I shift, and for the most part, I don't do much with this hand other than just this motion like this. For the most part, there's a little bit of sliding things off, which when I'm really paying attention, I do more with this hand. There's a way of knitting that actually they hold it this way and kind of just leave there. They don't squish it. That would be the difference. And why it would be even better if I could figure out how to do that is because you just let it sit in your hand, just sit there, and then the only thing this hand does is go up and back and forth. And then the other hand does all of the other work. And if you get good at it, this is actually a super fast way to do it. Okay. So, but I do my version where I still kind of hold it like this, so I am doing a little bit of squeezing action with my hand. But that's kind of, I don't know how well you can tell, but if you watch when I'm knitting, this arm doesn't move a whole lot. It moves some, but it's like, for the most part, things stay straight. There's a little bit of movement in my hand, but things stay straight. Okay, that's that. What I would do, I usually hold my crochet hook like this. I go in and I kind of stick it in, which is turning this, and sometimes I'm holding this, so it's even like really going with my thumb, pulling it back and like looping around. I really just feel like I need to show you. I'll just grab a yarn because we're watching for movement. If you can see there's a lot of this kind of thing going on, just even in chaining. There's this twisting thing when I go. using my thumb to stick in a lot of this twisty kind of thing. And so it's this combination of more than one movement direction, that there's a lot more movement in my hand, and there's a lot more, if you look, my arm is twisting like this, whereas when I'm knitting it's pretty much doing this, and there's a little bit of movement in my hand, but for the most part my hand is not doing anything. But when I'm crocheting, there is a lot of twisting. There's this move that I do when I put my thumb over the yarn. Sometimes I'm trying to stop that. There's a lot of twisting and that kind of thing. So there's a couple of things, and I can see that that's like mostly this twisting action that is causing the problems for my elbow while I'm crocheting. And so some of the things that I'm doing is, I have the brace that goes here that a lot of people use when it's an elbow pain. I don't find it helpful at all. I have I get doTERRA stuff. My mom had a business. I inherited it. I just, for the most part, buy for personal use. If you are interested in buying doTERRA, I can totally hook you up. Anyway, this is Deep Blue Rub, and this is one of my mom's favorite things and my favorite things. My mom tried a lot of things for her pain over the years. When she got this, it's like, wow, this actually goes in and works. We like this. And I've been using that, and it helps. I got a thumb wrist brace that kind of helps because it keeps me from doing my thumb in. It doesn't prevent me from doing the twisting, which is the real problem. And I don't know how to prevent that other than just consciously trying to train my crocheting skills to look different. The problem with the brace is it's got Velcro. So I'm trying to figure out how to resolve that so that it doesn't stick on my yarn as I'm crocheting. So this is why the snakes aren't getting very far, and why it's taking me a longer time to get my purple tilted tunic done, is because of this crocheting issue with my elbow. Okay. Some of the things that I have done is, if I try really hard to keep my thumb back, even if I choose to hold this with my finger, that's less twisting. So I'm trying to get myself to do that. That's one thing that I'm working on. Another thing is I'm trying really hard to remember to put pillows under my arm to help support it here. See, I still went right back to the thumb. And then sometimes when I'm doing that, it reminds me not to twist. And if you notice now, I'm trying to do more work with my left hand to actually maneuver and pull this back and forth so that this arm can hold still and not be doing as much twisting. And so if I can train myself to this be how I crochet, where I move my working yarn back and forth, my project, I kind of use my project and focus on holding this arm still. Yeah, I might still get a little bit of twisting with one hand, but honestly I can do it pretty much holding it still. Slight twist, slight movement every once in a while. It will affect my gauge until I get good at it, and then I kind of know what my gauge is. So I have to be careful. I've been trying to do that with my Millie snake, especially because this is a smaller hook, and so even with getting the ones with this, it's still pretty thin. So I'm being especially careful trying to do where I put my arm and hold it still. So this is kind of my life update and tip for you guys. Lots of pain, trying to find ways around it. I highly recommend a pillow, and I recommend trying new methods to do your crocheting so that you don't cause problems. So let's move this back up. It's pretty frustrating to hurt. My pain is like right here. Apparently that's kind of tennis elbow, just really the tendons are inflamed, and it's a repetitive use injury, so like because you keep using it over and over again. But also from what I've from what I've learned, that when you do two things, it makes it worse. So there's the going back and forth and the twisting. The combination of those is what is making it so bad. So I'm trying to train myself to crochet differently. So two main problems in my life to resolve. The mess so that I can do the cleaning. Okay, not two main problems, two main craft problems. The mess so that I can actually try to get my sewing done, and hoping that that really will get me going, because I really do want to make these projects. I want to use the materials that I have. I have like so many project ideas, and there are even crochet ideas that would be nice to have. Like if you make a bag to sew in lining, it would be so much easier with a machine than hand sewing. So I have those things going on. The elbow issue that I'm resolving going on. I also feel like I really need to check in on my minerals. I'm probably super low in magnesium, and I've noticed that because I've had cramps in other parts of my body. And I had a friend that told me that she tried a lot of different things when she was having tennis elbow, and one of the things that really helped her was magnesium. And obviously I'm not a doctor. I would suggest you go to a doctor, even though I'm a really bad example of that. It made sense because I already know that I'm having low magnesium symptoms in my life. So I think that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, I have the hat tutorial. It is a hat tutorial. I don't know if I said that. I'm doing a 2-part hat tutorial, and it's kind of more of like formulas for it, so that you can pretty much sit down with yarn, crochet hook or needles, and do a hat without any pattern. That's something I want to share, and it's a 2-part series that I'm waiting on some information from my daughter. So that's coming. The video is recorded and edited. I'm just waiting on making this PDF that goes with it. I just heard my kids start fighting. They probably need to eat lunch. I know I do. Sorry about the dog. Remember to let your light shine through your creations, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!